so today we're going to dive into what's been going on in the real estate market in the 91354 area code of Valencia, Santa Clarita, California, and just for the first quarter. So we're going to start off with the first quarter of 2025. So I'm Tami Cicerello with the Cicerello team at RE/MAX of Santa Clarita. All right, so let's jump in. We looked at all the data: condos, townhomes, single-family homes, all the information, how long they've been on the market, what the pricing was like, to give us a good idea of what happened in the first quarter of 2025. So first up, let's talk about pricing. So I get asked all the time, are prices going up? Are they going down? What's happening in the market? Well, based on the 2025 first quarter numbers, it looks like the market is holding steady. We're just seeing a stabilization in the market in the 91354 area. So active listings are averaging about $984,000. Pending homes are sitting just below $978,000, and the homes that actually closed in Q1 sold for an average of $973,800. So as you can see, those are all really close. So we're pretty much in stabilization mode right now. So this tells us, despite the interest rate pressure we had in the first quarter of the year, buyers are still making offers close to list price, and sellers are still getting close to what they're asking, as long as they're priced realistically. So now I want to highlight median pricing for a sec, because this is really important. Median sales are landing in the 880s to low 890s, which means that mid-range market. That's where the activity is. If you're priced in that range and you show well, you're golden. Now let's talk about days on market, because that really says a lot. So homes that are currently active on the market have been on the market for an average of 59 days. But the homes that are actually under contract and in escrow right now were on the market for an average of 36 days. So time on market is increasing. So the ones that actually closed escrow in that first quarter of the year, those also averaged around 60 days. But that number includes some that took over 200 days to sell. So what does that tell us? So if a home is priced correctly from the beginning and it looks good, the photos are good, the staging, curb appeal, it moves fast. Sometimes in just over a month. But if a home is overpriced, it seems to drag and usually ends up selling for less than it would have if it had been positioned properly in the market from the get-go. So trust me, I see this all the time. People say, oh, let's put it on the market high and just see what happens. We can always reduce the price. Well, you end up reducing the price. The house looks like it's been on the market for a long time. Buyers start asking, what's wrong with it? Even though there may not be anything wrong with the property. It's just started off at too high of a price. So, all right, let's go ahead and shift now into what I call the sweet part of the market, because every market has that little pocket that we call the sweet spot. So in the 91354 area code of Valencia, that sweet spot is between $850,000 and $950,000, a 3 to 4 bedroom home, somewhere between 2,000 and 2,400 square feet. These are the homes that are priced well, move-in ready, and checking the boxes for buyers who are still very cautious with their budgets. Now let's look at those larger homes, the ones that are over 2,800 square feet and priced over $1.2 million. So they're still selling, but they're taking longer. They're not flying off the shelves like they were a couple years ago. The buyer pool for those homes is smaller, and they're being more selective. So if your home is in that price point, you've got to make sure your home stands out. So let's talk about overpricing for a second. Because this is still happening, here's what the data shows. So the homes that end up starting high and just seeing what happens and having to reduce their prices sat on the market 2 to 3 times longer than the average. And that confirms what we already know. Overpricing hurts sellers more than it helps. You lose momentum, you lose exposure, and often you end up taking less than you would have if you'd priced right from the very beginning. So what does this mean if you're thinking of selling? Honestly, it's a good time. Inventory is still relatively low, and buyer demand is definitely still there. But buyers are super picky. They're not just grabbing anything, so you've got to make sure your home is prepped, staged, and priced right, and marketed well. And if you do that, you'll get it sold in 30 to 40 days and at a strong price point. And if you're buying, be ready to bring your A game. We're still seeing multiple offers on the well-priced homes, especially in the $800,000 to $950,000 range. So being pre-approved and ready to act is key. So if you're looking at that $1 million plus mark, just know you may have a little bit more room for negotiating. You may have a little bit more time. But if it's the right home for you, make sure you move quickly, because it may be the right home for someone else too. So final thoughts. The Valencia market is now very stable. It's steady, and it's favoring sellers who come in strong and price competitively. But it's also giving buyers an opportunity to negotiate. especially at that higher price point. And that's a window we haven't seen in years. So whether you're thinking of buying or selling this year, or you just want a better idea of what your options look like, reach out. I'd love to talk through your goals and help you figure out the best strategy for you. So thanks for watching, and be sure to hit the subscribe button down here below, because we want to make sure that as we're posting new videos, you're going to get all the information. We have all the information about the Santa Clarita real estate market. We do these videos on every zip code in Santa Clarita every quarter. So go ahead, subscribe to our channel. We also have information about just things that are going on in Santa Clarita and all about the Santa Clarita real estate market.